Hello, friends. We are podcasting section 2.8 of the Algebra 2 book. One goal for today, and that is to get you to be able to graph a linear inequality. So you're going to have to know how to make the line, which you should already know, whether it is a solid or slashed line, and which side of the line I'm going to shade. This little clip is from your textbook, and it starts with an SAT type practice question asking which of the ordered pairs is a solution to this inequality. So what that means is if I chose one of these and I put the x coordinate in for the x here and the y coordinate in for the y here, I would get a statement that is true. So if I put 6 in, 6 times 3 is 18 plus negative 12 is 6. 6 is not greater than 8, so that's not the solution. So plug those in and keep this language, this idea in mind. Is this point a solution to this inequality? That will help you as we proceed. I want to start by quickly reviewing what you should already know. You should be able to graph an equation in either of these forms. So if I have an equation like this, y equals 2x minus 3, the minus 3 here is the y-intercept. So I go to that point on the y-axis, and then this point here, the m, is the slope. So from this point, I can always go one place to the right and then up or down, however many this slope is. So in this case, 1 to the right and then up 2. And now I have 2 points, and that's all I need to graph a line. And I could just continue to go to the right 1 and up 2 as many times as I needed, or I could go down 2 and to the left 1, because negative 2 over negative 1 is also a positive 2. So I've got line here that I can graph. You should also know if I have an equation in this form that I can graph this by finding the intercepts. So remember, if I put a 0 in for x right here, make that 0, then this entire term cancels out, and I can just solve for my y, which would clearly have to be negative 5, because negative 2 times negative 5 would give me the positive 10. So I take that 1 point, x is 0, y is negative 5 right there. And if I put a 0 in for y, if I put a 0 right here, then I can solve for this x. Now clearly x would have to be 2, because 5 times 2 would give me 10. So I can also graph this point, which is right here. And now I have 2 points. And when I look at the 2 points, I can see that the slope of this line is the rise, which is 5, over the run, which is 2. And I could just keep going up 5 and over 2 as many times, or I could go down 5 and to the left 2. And now I've got points. So you should know already how to do this, how to graph out of either form. So what are we adding on new? Well, if the inequality that we are graphing has either a less than or a greater than sign, I'm going to have a dashed line. And to tie it back to what we already did with number line, remember if it was a single variable inequality and it was less than or greater than, we used an open dot because that point was not included in the solution. In this case, if it's greater than or less than, none of the points actually on the line are in the solution, but everything either above or below is. If I have a less than equal to or greater than equal to, then I have a solid line. And the reason is because any point on that line is included on the solution. Once I have drawn a line, I can pick any point on either side and test it. Now that's what we started by doing at the beginning of the podcast. If the point works, then I'm going to shade every single point on that side of the line, and if it doesn't, I'm going to shade the other side of the line. Let's look at an example. This is a pretty simple one because we've got a horizontal line. Y equals negative 1. We already know that line right here. And the one we're graphing is y is less than negative 1. And because of this inequality sign, I got a dashed line. You can see it maybe not so well on this, but it is dashed in fact. And I picked the test point 0, 0, which is right here. And when I plug 0 in, 0 does not equal 1. 0 is not less than negative 1. So nothing on this blue side works. So that means I shade the bottom, and that's what they did. Take a look at this. You can pause the podcast and also take a look at this example. Okay, you can look at both of those, and we'll talk about them in the next podcast.